When we use the term goals at TruthMap, we don't just use it to refer to goals in the narrow sense of things like getting a diploma, reaching a career milestone, or meeting a fitness goal. We also mean goals in the broader sense of the term, like your underlying goals of feeling safe, or upholding your integrity, or maintaining a certain persona in your social connections, just to name a few. As humans, we are goal-oriented creatures, so every second that we continue living, we have goals that we set, sometimes ones that aren't even within our awareness. For example, the type of person you tend to fall for, or the kinds of people you click and become good friends with, are goals that aren't necessarily something that exist in the forefront of your mind. Dr. Lukens explains that as goal-oriented creatures that historically have not worked on examining our underlying motivation for why we do what we do, we have misidentified the prizes that our goals are set up for, and that's where the culture has gotten it really wrong about the idea of achievement. If the pursuit of pain management is really the main agenda, cleverly disguised as seeking a positive change that you believe will result in happiness, you will be disappointed. For example, person A is shame avoidant and person B is sadness avoidant. When person A is asked what they want to change about themselves or their life, invariably it will be directly or indirectly linked to their primary directive of avoiding shame. This is their number one pain, and it will always be included in their change project. It might not sound like it is at first, but ask a few questions and you'll quickly find the shame avoidant mandate is dictating the goals. Person B, same story, just a different arena with different triggers and feeling states and meaningful contexts. Person B wants to avoid sadness, but the bias to avoid any sadness will be either obvious or ultimately discoverable in their goals for the change project. So now, if these individuals accomplish their goals, person A sets up a lifestyle for themselves that minimizes the threat of shame, and person B curtails the prospect of any loss and sadness. Are they truly better off in the final analysis? Person A avoids the threat of shame by living a life in seclusion, and person B never realizes a long-term relationship to avoid sadness. They both achieve their goals, right? But how happy are they? Alone, secluded, without interpersonal relationships or social lives. Now, if their true motives for wanting to live a life of seclusion and without relationships is because they are enlightened, self-aware, and truly feel more happiness being on their own, then their motivations weren't created out of pain avoidance, and they would actually be quite happy. Their goals were set out of positive intentions. The hedonic principle refers to the influence of a person's experience of pleasure and pain on their willingness to move towards a goal or away from a threat. For all humans, there will be pleasure-seeking and pain avoidance. This is the biological mandate of the nervous system. The same principle guides the behaviors of dogs and squirrels. What makes it paradoxical for us is we develop within our own minds over time the hope and or the expectation that we should be able to surmount the pain part and thereby avoid having to pay our cosmic dues and achieve a level of happiness that dogs and squirrels don't get to achieve by having far more pleasure and far less pain than Mother Nature would dole out to us randomly or naturally. Some of us go as far as to believe we should be able to eradicate pain completely, and that we can do so through our minds, in essence, conquering the hedonic principle, and finding sustainable happiness based on a self-engineered abundance of pleasure and minimization of pain. We direct our will to try to turn the force of the principle into our ally, or some form of disempowered enemy that we neutralize through our self-serving intention to pursue happiness. The goal is to win at the game of life by doing the hedonic principle on purpose, at a higher level than would otherwise be our fate as humans. And that is supposed to result from our controlling our dance with our own nervous system. This is part of what makes us so intolerant of pain. It's part of what makes us ruminate and obsess. It damages our morale, and we don't see the fault of unfair entitlement and expectation as the setup for our defining our emotional pain as if it's a kind of personal failure, or evidence that the universe is picking on us. We have trouble letting go and accepting the yin and yang of it, and vote for yin only as if it was up to us. Our attitude toward our destiny and our goals is narrowly focused on keeping score, as if all the emotional pain we manage to avoid or defend against determines how well we are playing the game of life. However, if they put on your tombstone, avoided more pain than almost anyone else, it would not in any way guarantee that you lived a good life, or even a happy one. When discussing goals, let's take a look at the connection of free will and willpower to all the goals you are contemplating or trying to set into place. Dr. Lukens would contend that the very presence of your blind spots about both of these, free will and willpower, is important. It underscores the idea that no one really knows what they're talking about when it comes to free will or willpower. The breaking news is essentially this: you have no choice in defining your goals. In fact, If there's some pain or a problem that you're trying to solve, then that pain is what's now driving you to select your particular goals. For instance, if you want to lose weight, why is it that you want to lose weight? Why is that a goal for you? You didn't choose the pain or the problem, so really you're not choosing the goal either. So you see, this goal has been determined for you based on your want to avoid or prevent a possible pain around some areas in your life. You feel ashamed of your body, so you set a goal of going to the gym every day and losing weight. Or you want to lose weight because you think more people will be attracted to you. Your goal here isn't to nourish your body for the sake of loving yourself and wanting to be healthy. Your goal was set from a place of pain avoidance. You don't want to be ashamed of your body, you don't want to be single, you want to go to the beach and feel confident, etc. But think about it. If tomorrow you woke up with your dream body, went to the beach, and no one was there to see you, how would you feel? Isn't your goal entirely for you? Why does it matter if no one can see you? Ponder that for a moment. If there's some pain or problem that you're trying to solve with your goals, you really need to get clear about those.